fire, do think twice. And if you get burned, well, baby, don't you be surprised. Lifted, drifting higher than the ceiling. Ooh, baby, it's the ultimate feeling. You got me lifted, feeling so gifted. Sugar, how you get so fly. But you won't get me tonight. Lifted, drifting higher than the ceiling. Ooh, baby, it's the ultimate feeling. You got me lifted, feeling so gifted. Sugar, how you get so fly. Sugar, how you get so fly. Sugar, how you get so fly. Sugar, how you get so fly.
Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. Our program is about to begin. Thank you.
For a second there, I thought you disappeared. It rains a lot this time of year. And we both go together if one falls down. I talk out loud like you're still around. No, no. And I miss you. I'm going back home to the West Coast. I wish you would have put yourself in my suitcase. I love you, standing all alone in a black coat. I miss you, I'm going back home to the West Coast. And if you shake her hard enough, she will appear. Tonight I think I'll be staying here. And you never did like this town. I talk out loud like you're still around. No, no. And I miss you. I'm going back home to the West Coast. I wish you would have put yourself in my suitcase. I love you, standing all alone in a black coat. I miss you, I'm going back home to the West Coast. Come on, everybody. What a feeling. Here's believing. I can't have it all now. I'm dancing for my life. Take your passion.
Come on! How are you?
Welcome back, everybody, to the afternoon session of MongoDB World 2019. How are you feeling? All right, good.
Fantastic.
Yes, is everybody caffeinated? I've gotten 3 cold brews today. I've gotten one of those things. Anyway, I wanted to welcome you all back. We're so excited. We've had a day and a half full of sessions, lots of great content. For those of you that aren't using it, we have the hashtag, a reminder to use MDBW19 when you're talking on social. You'll see a few of us tweeting out fun pictures and also lots of great content. So
Excellent.
with that, Song, I wanted to check with you. Sunday, Father's Day, right? Did you have any fun plans?
Yeah, I had a great time. I have, hello to my wife and 4 children who were on the live stream. Wanted to say actually hello to everyone watching on the live stream as well.
Yes.
So, hi kids, it's Dad. I think the thing that I look forward to with Father's Day is actually telling a great dad joke.
Can't wait.
so-
This is what I live for.
Yeah.
Dad jokes. So,
Oh, do you want one?
Yeah, of
oh, you
course
want
I want
one? Okay. Maybe appropriate for this audience.
PG-13.
Jess, it'd be great to know that I'm making a film series about databases. So I've got the first part down, but I can't think of the sequel.
Bada boom.
Come on! Rid-it-do-do-do. No? Good?
The sequel or sequel?
Sequel. Get it? Sequel?
SQL?
No? You love it. Elliot's laughing, thank you.
Oh my gosh. Where's Elliot?
Yes. Elliot's my boss, so.
He's hiding in his chair right now, not laughing,
Yeah.
just sinking back down.
Exactly. But hey, so this is my 5th MongoDB World, if you can believe it or not, and this is actually Jess's first. So please, everyone, welcome Jess to her very first MongoDB World.
Thank you.
Really happy to have her here. She's actually just about 4 weeks in, and we're really excited about the afternoon program here. And I guess with that said, maybe we should talk.
Should we get the party started?
With one more joke.
Oh, obviously.
So how about this one? Here's another dad joke. And by the way, if you like this, follow me on Twitter, Sung17. I'm always looking for Twitter followers.
You can find them on the hashtag.
Yeah, Sung17, and make sure you hashtag MDBW19 dad jokes.
Hashtag best dad
Do
joke.
that too. So how about this one? So what did the father buffalo say to his son as he was leaving for work?
Tell me.
Bye, son. Come on, that was good. These are only getting better. Let's go.
Just keep it going.
All right, we'll save the other ones for later.
Don't worry, there'll be more.
There will be more.
Wah wah. Okay, great. So let's get started on next thing. So you have to have at least 15 minutes for the next dad joke.
Yes.
Okay, great.
Easily.
Okay, good.
Great. So, every year we're really proud to recognize those who are using MongoDB to dream big and deliver bold, innovative solutions that are moving forward industries and changing lives for the better. And this year we received entries across dozens of industries around the world. We're going to go through one of my favorite parts of MongoDB World, which is our Innovation Awards. And we would just like to ask everyone to please hold their applause until the end. So for the first award, this partner, this company creates 4.5 quintillion bytes of data from a variety of sources. That's a lot of data.
Yeah.
From climate information, social media posts, purchase transactions, as well as medical images. They believe that the application of intelligence, reason, and science can improve business, society, and the human condition. So we would like to congratulate our global go-to-market, hold that applause, partner of the year, IBM.
Don't
Hold that applause.
I know it's really hard. Okay.
Save it up.
Yeah, we have a few. I mean, no, just sit down. We'll have time. Don't worry. Okay.
We got you.
So our next, our William Zola Award for Community Excellence winner shares her knowledge about MongoDB throughout blogging, public speaking, and social media. She focuses on working with developers early in their careers to teach them how to better model and search their data. And we are giving Danielle Monterio the William Zola Award for Community Excellence as a result of her passion for the MongoDB community.
Hold that applause.
I know, sorry.
Very good. And for the first time this year, we're recognizing a MongoDB certified professional who demonstrates ingenuity, hard work, and expertise. And this year, we're actually very happy to announce that Rolando Martinez, who's a staff data engineer at VRBO, is our certified professional of the year. Congratulations.
Oh, congrats, so deep. So our Savvy Startup winner for real-time analytics platform that powers mission-critical oil and gas operations around the world. The company enables real-time engineering and machine learning predictions that power faster and safer drilling. Congratulations to our Savvy Startup winners from Corva.
Great, and our Internet of Things winner has developed a pilotless drone solution, the first of its kind in the global market. And it provides an industrial, end-to-end, fully automated solution for collecting aerial data, which they use for survey mapping, for emergency response, and other things. This platform, they leverage MongoDB in the cloud to help support the vast amount of data collected and processed in order to deliver concise actionable insight in a connected world. Very happy to announce that our Internet of Things winner is Aerobotics. Congratulations.
I feel like next time we should have let people snap.
Yes. Boom, boom.
Next year. So our Atlas winner is an incredibly fast-growing New York business that is disrupting the real estate industry with technology, aiming to build the first end-to-end real estate platform. And our Atlas winner is Compass.
And our enterprise winner is the leading hospitality provider in the world today with over 7,000 properties and a new hotel opening every 14 hours.
Crazy.
They turn to MongoDB to assist with a reservation shopping demand. And what they've done with actually using Linux on Z, they architected a reservation shopping platform that will allow for further scale and quicker time to market for new capabilities. Very happy to congratulate our enterprise winner, Marriott.
Snaps.
It's the Marriott people.
Silent
wasn't it?
snaps.
Yeah.
So our data-driven business winner is shaping the mobility ecosystem. They are working with MongoDB to collect, store, and process massive volumes of data for its newest safety initiative, Vision Zero, which strives for zero fatalities or accidents on the roads. It relies on a vast amount of data to guide the development and next generation of sensors and software. Now with MongoDB, their developers can build new models more rapidly and quickly to build out and test new prototypes. Our data-driven business winner is Continental.
Who clapped? So I'm doing everything I can to fight the urge to tell a dad joke here, because Continental makes tires data-driven. Okay, sorry. Our Launchfast winner is a major Australian bank, Australian-based bank operating in 34 markets globally. And this company set out to digitize their risk and compliance management framework, making it scalable and customizable through the development of an application framework using MongoDB Atlas. Very happy to announce our Launchfast winner is ANZ Bank. I hope I said that right, ANZ.
So our scale winners are producers of Tomb Raider and other blockbuster video games like Final Fantasy. Yes, Blockbuster. They recently chose MongoDB Atlas for all future game production because they needed scalability for their global playing base. Our scale winner is Square Enix, who unfortunately could not attend today, but they are live streaming in.
Congratulations. And so our customer experience winner is one of the world's biggest cruise lines. They're utilizing MongoDB to help digitally transform and significantly enhance the customer experience. Their digital marketing team were facing complex and rigid legacy infrastructure. We all hate that. And they chose MongoDB Atlas to modernize their crew search products. So as someone who actually was just on a cruise with this company, I do have to say the customer experience was superb. Congratulations to our customer experience winner, Royal Caribbean. Great.
Okay, so now let's have all of our innovators stand up and everybody give them a round of applause.
Woo!
Amazing. All right, so now we'd like to introduce our Innovator of the Year, which, you have the trophy thing. I was like, you have the clicker.
You click it.
You click it.
You click it.
Okay, all right, I'll take it. And so for the big announcement we've all been waiting for, we are thrilled to announce our Innovator of the Year winner. This award goes out to a company among our winners that has demonstrated overall outstanding innovation and success partnering with MongoDB. Is everybody ready? Dun, 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 dun. Okay. So the Innovator of the Year chosen from all of our outstanding categories goes to Marriott. Please come on up the stage.
Congratulations.
Thanks very much.
Yeah, we're gonna take a picture.
And I know, baby, just how you feel. You got to roll with the punches and get to what's real.
So how exciting was that? Congratulations to all our award winners, and again, congratulations again to Marriott. So we're excited to obviously work very closely with one of our partners, IBM, who has been on the forefront of innovation for over 100 years. And to discuss some of the innovative work IBM is doing around data and AI, I'm thrilled to welcome our next speaker, who has spent the last 2 decades at the forefront of database technologies. And currently, he's focused on delivering proprietary and open source database offerings in the IBM Cloud Pack. Please welcome to the stage distinguished engineer in IBM's Data and AI division, Adam Storm.
Thank you. Let me ask the question, what does change look like? So this is a photo that was taken on Easter Sunday in the year 1900, just down the road on Fifth Avenue. And it looks like any photo that you would expect to see from that age on Easter, people walking on the sidewalks to church. The streets are filled with horse-drawn carriages. But if you look very closely at this photo, you could see something strange. And what that is that someone forgot to bring their horse. And that's because this person is driving one of the first motorized vehicles in New York City. This is what the beginning of change looks like. If you fast forward 13 years, that same Easter Sunday looks like this. So obviously this motorized vehicle revolution has taken hold. And this is really what change looks like. But what you can also see in this photo is something also a little bit strange, which is that there's one person who's holding on to the past. In the next 20 minutes, I'm going to talk a little bit about change that's affecting our industry today, and why it's important, why we need to get on board with the change, and what will become of you if you try to hold on to the past. So what is this change that I'm talking about today? Clearly, AI is changing the world that we live in. We have phones in our pockets that can visualize our face. We have AI infiltrating medicine to the better good of people. We have thermostats that you never have to touch again, and the promise of self-driving cars. But I don't know about all of you. Not all of us are fortunate enough to have phones that can recognize our faces, and I personally don't have a self-driving car. But what I do have is an AI-enabled freezer. Now, this freezer may not look like much. It sits in my basement, and it stores 2.5-ish months of food for my family. It's very important to us. But what's magical about it is that I didn't even know that it was AI-enabled until this happened. This is a picture from an ice storm that enveloped the city of Toronto in which I live last April. It dropped freezing rain for a period of 18 hours, and when it was done, there were 4.5 inches of ice on the ground. And the accompanying destruction. So you can see there were down power lines and down trees. And you can imagine how the havoc that this would wreak on a city. But what I didn't know was that the electrical producer in our city had planned ahead. And they'd taken weather data that they'd been collecting as the storm was approaching and predicted the path of the storm. But not only that, they predicted which areas of their grid were most vulnerable. And through that model, and the fact that they were doing predictive analysis, they didn't wait for the problems to be reported. Instead, they sent crews out to places where they knew that there would be problems before the problems happened. And they worked to fix and repair the grid and bring power back to 500,000 people one full day faster than they would have normally. What this AI looked like to me was that when I opened my freezer at the end of the storm, everything was still frozen, and I didn't have to throw out all the food in there. So this is how AI is impacting people in ways that they don't even realize it. But perhaps you think that the AI disruption is still up for debate. For that, I say this.
Real-world problems, a lot of times they don't have a clear bottom line win. Otherwise, we wouldn't debate things.
According to rules set by the candidates themselves.
What we are trying to accomplish here is really to demonstrate that we can have a meaningful and valuable discussion between man and machine.
We are actually trying to show that a computer system can add, if you want, conversation or decision-making by bringing facts and doing a different kind of argumentation.
Hello, Dan. Thank you for the opportunity to be here today.
The debater system tries to understand the concept over which we are debating.
Having analyzed the data, I will argue that we should subsidize music education.
When it gets the topic, until you hear the first speech, it's collecting all the possible arguments, trying to remove redundancy.
It is about recognizing important issues for society.
The system is evolving.
The IBM debater can have all the opinions in the world, but IBM debater does not pay taxes, and we do.
You are speaking at the extremely fast rate of 218 words per minute. There is no need to hurry.
The value of the technology is really to allow decision makers to take more informed decisions. There is a territory which is uncharted to some extent, and this is where we are now.
Thank you for listening.
So IBM Project Debater is something that we're very proud of at IBM. It's a pretty remarkable piece of technology. The way it works is it gets the debate topic 15 minutes before the debate starts, and in that time it crafts an opening statement and then delivers that opening statement and then listens to the rebuttal, dissects the argument being made there, and offers a counterpoint. Personally, I don't think that solving debate is necessarily one of life's biggest problems, but you can imagine how all of the pieces that make up Project Debater can influence the world that we're living in. Okay, why are we talking about AI now, though? AI is not a new area of a new computer science discipline. This is a photograph of an IBM researcher named Arthur Samuel. He worked at IBM in the 50s and 60s, and what his goal in life was to solve checkers. And he had that goal even before the computers were available to run the code that he wanted to write. So he wrote the ideas, the first thoughts of a checkers program, and went to his boss and said, you need to build me the computer that it's going to take to solve this problem. And he did that, and the program that he developed was good enough to beat amateur checker players at the time. But really what successful AI needs is three things, a couple of which Arthur Samuels didn't have access to at the time. The first is we need clean and meaningful data sets. And I'm going to talk a little bit about how data is exploding right now. You need the ability to program it in a way that's super simple, because programming AI can be quite complex. And you need lots and lots and lots of compute, something that Arthur Samuels unfortunately didn't have in his lifetime. And of course, did I mention how we need clean and meaningful data sets? So to talk about data, this is an article that's written about an IDC report. And IDC is expecting the data to grow at a rate of 61% every year for the next 6 years. The result of that is that there will be 142 additional zettabytes of data on the Earth. Now, zettabyte might not mean much to you. It didn't mean anything to me until I looked it up on Wikipedia, what a zettabyte was. But what that works out to is 142 billion terabytes, or 142 million petabytes. Now, maybe that's still a little too abstract. What I can tell you to try to bring it down to earth is that the largest hard drive you can buy today is 16 terabytes, which I think is just mind-bogglingly large. It would take almost 9 billion of those hard drives to land all of the data that's being created. This data is principally being driven by IoT devices, and it's just screaming out to be analyzed using AI. And now on to compute. So this is a photograph of a computer that IBM built in 1997 to solve the problem of chess. This computer was called Deep Blue, and it faced off against chess grand champion Garry Kasparov, and it won in 1997, many people saying solving the problem of chess. That computer had 11.38 gigaflops back in 1997. This phone, which I have in my pocket right now, has 600 gigaflops. It's 50 times more powerful than the computer that beat the grand chess champion in 1997. So that's remarkable, but what I find even more remarkable is 1 year later, Apple launched a new phone that has 5,000 gigaflops. 1 year later, 8 times the power. If you're wondering why you have so much compute power in your pocket, it's because of all the AI that's happening on your phone, whether it being speech to text or facial recognition. There's a lot going on in your pocket at all times. Okay, and finally, AI frameworks. So this is graph that came from the Kaggle Data Science Survey. So Kaggle is, for those of you who are unfamiliar, it's a website that runs data science competitions. They post a data science problem, and then they try to see who can come up with the most accurate solution. So what Kaggle does is every year it surveys the data scientists around the world and asks them, what are the AI frameworks that you're using most readily? And what's interesting about this is that the top 5 of them, none of them existed 2 decades ago, and most of them are less than 5 years old. So the AI frameworks are emerging at a rapid rate, and it's allowing data scientists to write AI code much simpler than they used to before. So why am I talking about this here? Why did I spend the last 10 minutes trying to convince you that AI is important? Well, all of you have data in your Mongo databases that are just itching to be analyzed using AI. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how you can do that in a very, very simple way. So this is a screen capture of a Jupyter notebook. And what a Jupyter notebook is, for those who are unfamiliar with it, is it allows the data scientist to run code in various cells and test different theories about their data science. So if you roll the demo, in this demo, I've connected it up to a Mongo database, and I'm going to analyze the New York City New York City taxi data. So first step is to connect to the Mongo database using PyMongo. And then we can download the taxi trip data. And then we're going to load that into our Mongo database, all with just a few lines of code. And then I'm going to query the taxi data by pickup longitude and latitude, so we can see where all of the pickups are occurring in the city. So first I'm going to form that query using regular Mongo syntax. And then I'm going to run that query against this data frame that we've created. And this is where I think the real magic happens right now on cell 25. You can see that with 2 lines of code, we're going to run an NP-complete problem through a heuristic and find a solution to find the clusters where most of the pickups occur in New York City. And this is going to map, if I run through the next cell of the notebook, it's going to map them onto the streets of Manhattan. So what I've done is I've taken all of the pickup locations that have been tracked by taxi data, and then mapped them to clusters, and then found the center of each of those clusters. Now, why is this important? Well, let's say I'm a taxi driver in the city of New York, and I'm starting my shift, and I want to know where to go. If you find yourself at one of the centers, there's a pretty good chance that there's going to be a fare lurking nearby. OK, the other reason that I think it's important to talk about this is AI doesn't come for free. It's easy to program AI with all of these frameworks, but having the infrastructure where you can leverage AI in your organization is difficult. And we solve problems like that every day for our customers. The developers, most of the developers in this room, they don't care about the infrastructure, but the infrastructure is important. We provide that infrastructure so that it's as though it doesn't even exist. And you can just leverage the data that you have and drive insights through it using AI. OK, so then the whole story is great, right? Nothing to worry about? Well, not exactly. What does a sign look like to you? So to me, it looks like a sign for KFC. But the problem is, to your self-driving car, it looks like this. Now, why does it look like that? A group of researchers at Princeton University tried to experiment to see how little noise they would have to add to a KFC logo for a self-driving car algorithm to be confused and interpret it as a stop sign. So they took this original image and added a little bit of noise. And the end result was all of the self-driving car models that they tested interpreted as a stop sign. So maybe you don't think that's such a big problem. Maybe stopping at KFC isn't the biggest problem in the world. But a different group of researchers at University of Michigan, University of Washington, UC Berkeley, and Stony Brook University tried to play the reverse problem and see how little they would have to add to a stop sign to get it misinterpreted. And by adding these 4 stickers, they got the self-driving car model to interpret it as a speed limit sign, which is obviously far, far more dangerous. And this is happening all over in AI. We see AI models that are putting the wrong people in jail, predicting the wrong people to die at the wrong rates. And adversely affecting their life insurance policies, disqualifying people for mortgages who need mortgages. So the world of AI needs help. It needs a partner, people who have been invested in AI for the last 50 years. And with all that in mind, why do we think that there's value in proceeding? Well, for a few reasons. First of all, like with motorized vehicles, people were worried. I was reading last night that in some jurisdictions there were concerns that the speed at which the vehicles were traveling would be so dangerous that they were going to regulate automobiles to a maximum speed of 4 miles per hour. Now, that fear we take for granted right now because we have cars that are around the streets and people that are safely occupying the same space. But like that fear, there's fear of AI, and we need to push through it. Why do we need to push through it? Because companies are already leveraging AI to tremendous success. They're making their customers' lives better. They're generating more revenue. And they're really reaping the rewards that you will want to reap in the next few years. So how can IBM help? Well, IBM offers a number of Mongo database offerings. We have a managed service in the cloud and also a HyperProtect managed service, the most secure way you can get Mongo in the cloud today. And then we have a whole bunch of private cloud offerings as well for those of you who want to run Mongo on-prem. And all of these offerings are underpinned by our expertise in AI, and we can connect all of these up to AI very, very quickly and easily using the existing infrastructure we have. So with that, let me leave you with one call to action, which is that if you are not an AI expert, if you do not know a lot about AI today, seek to learn something about AI in the next 30 days. And we offer programs through our AI learning and certification program. If you do a Google search, you can also learn a number of ways to brush up on AI or really take your first steps in it. Because at the end of the day, you need to decide if you're going to be someone who's driving change in your organization or if you're going to be the one who's clinging to the past. Thank you.
Welcome back. Right. So everybody, we wanted to talk a little bit about the MongoDB World Hackathon. We've got some really cool things going on here. So over 10 weeks, we had just completed our global hackathon from people around the world. So what does that mean? We had people regionally, we wanted to make sure we did something just beyond the US. And in the interest of world, we did just that. With that, we brought 3 finalists around the world to present to you today. With the hackathon, we celebrated coders, designers, and makers from the world. We had 900 participants build some amazing projects, and we got the top 3 teams with the most creative, technically impressive, and well-designed projects to show you what they built. The winner today will receive $10,000. I know. I couldn't participate. Oh well. And with that, we need your help to decide these winners. And I want you to start thinking about this while we have these demos. These 3 key evaluation points. Creativity of the idea, technical difficulty, and design of the overall application. So have your phones out once all the demos are complete, and we'll have a live voting on each one of the winners. With that, I'd like to bring up our first team, Kegomate. We have Lindsay and Margaret and Cullen, they're a 540 company. They came all the way from DC. And fun fact, I think I might have found my best new friends in the world. I know I mentioned earlier I had some cold brew, 3. They're all about it. I think they like cold brew just as much as I do. And with that, I'd like to bring them to the stage.
Thank you for that lovely introduction, Jessica. As she mentioned, at 540, we love our nitro cold brew, so much so because it keeps us fueled and ready to face the challenges ahead of us for each and every day. You can only imagine the chaos that ensues when all of a sudden word spreads throughout the office that our 3 kegs are suddenly all kicked. It's not ideal. And the only way we have an alert is a very physical going over to that keg, pulling the tap, and then all of a sudden a splatter of foam from the bottom of that keg. So we were really excited when we heard about the opportunity presented for the MongoDB World Hackathon. We saw an opportunity to solve all of our challenges because it's an important need for us. That being said, we collected data from all of our coffee consumption throughout our office, and we triggered a Slackbot notification to the office admin that allowed the ideal order to be placed at the ideal time. So cue in Kegamate, and here's Colin to tell you more about the technical side.
Cool, thanks, Lindsay. So our solution installed 3 sensors into our coffee keg lines. We made sure they were food-grade sensors because slowly poisoning our office was not part of the MVP. Those sensors then fed data into 2 Arduinos and a Raspberry Pi, which would then process the data and send it to Mongo. Using this setup required no traditional backend and relied solely on MongoDB's distributed Atlas service and some Mongo Stitch services and functions, which were then utilized by our front-end app to do some visualization and allowed us to administrate the kegs a little bit. Digging a little deeper into the backend, we were able to utilize an open source project called Kegbot, which kind of got us up and running on the schematics of the hardware, and also started processing our data pretty quickly. Custom Python on the Raspberry Pi then converted that data into fluid ounces, and we were able to get drink events processed into Stitch from that. Here's a look at some of the other Stitch functions that Kegamate uses, and a picture of the Arduinos and Pis. Hopefully no network people are here. They'd have a heart attack on that. To bring our application full circle, we built an Angular-based web application just to kind of show some visualizations and allow for that administration of the kegs. The end product looked a little bit like this, and this sits right beside our little kegerator in the office. It's constantly showing the levels of the kegs so that we know when to order kind of based on that as well. And the activity right there on the right-hand side, as well as a simple little chart to show consumption over time.
As you can see, we did have a few leaks. Yeah. We also had shipping delays with the hardware due to the timeline constraints. So the future enhancements include tracking individual coffee consumption as well as the best coffee. We would also like to make Kegamate open source eventually so that you too can have Kegamate in your offices.
And on a final note, we wanted to take a moment to thank Brual for joining us at this very beautiful conference. Thanks a lot.
It's amazing. I was going to make a brew joke, but I can't think of another one. So, beautiful presentation. All right, I tried. So the next one we have up is Brainhack Wheelchair. And unfortunately, Vinit was not able to make it today. So instead, we're going to play a video. I wanted to give you a little bit of background about him. He's from Mumbai, and he's really interested in harnessing the power of our brain and pulling it into hardware. So with that, let's roll the tape. Always wanted to say that.
Hi, my name is Vinay Todai and I am a computer engineering graduate from India. For the past few weeks, I have been working on the technology of brain-computer interface. So I have developed a prototype for a brain-controlled wheelchair for physically challenged people. So this is the prototype for a brain-controlled wheelchair. This is the brainwave headset that I use to collect my brainwaves. The brainwaves are sent here and they are processed inside. And then a value is attained which is known as attention value. First, I will be connecting this prototype with my mobile phone. Now I will be connecting my brain with this mobile phone. So the connection has been established. So now the working is in such a way that my brainwaves are sent to this application, they are processed inside and the commands are sent to the prototype. If my attention goes above 60, then a signal is sent from this application to the launchpad to move the wheels in the front direction. Now suppose that I want to turn. If I blink my eye twice in a span of 1 second rapidly, then only a signal is sent from this application to this prototype to move the wheels in the left direction. So as you can see, my attention was above 60, so both the wheels are moving in the front direction. And as I start talking, my attention decreases, so the wheels also stops. Now suppose that I want to turn. So if I double blink my eye now, you can see only one wheel is turning. So my attention is controlling my forward movement and my eye blinks are controlling my left movement. Now this application also has obstacle detection. So as you can see, every car is being detected. So suppose that this wheelchair is on the road and some heavy vehicle or truck is coming. So this mobile phone will detect what is the obstacle and it will take the control from the user to an autonomous agent and the user will be taken to a safe spot. Now I'll tell you where I have used MongoDB mobile here. So my attention and eye blinks are being stored in the MongoDB mobile database. So you can see here, this is the view for the MongoDB mobile database backend. It consists of the document ID, the attention and the blink strength. So it is updating every second. And the MongoDB mobile is used to calculate my average attention and average blink, as you can see below. Also, you can see that a graph is plotted of my attention values. So I'll go again to the main page and show you the main screen. And also, as you can see, the background lights are also changing. It is used to give a feedback to the user. Now, these are the 7 rainbow colors, all the way from red to violet. So if my attention is less, then the color will be red, and as it goes on increasing, the color will change all the way up to violet. So that was it for the demo. Thank you very much.
Wow. So even with Vinay not here, that was incredible. So thank you, Vinay, if you're watching. I know it's late for you. I'm going to pretend like you're watching. So thanks very much. With that, we want to bring up our next team. I'd like to introduce a Porygon team. We've got Looney and Sam. They came all the way from Melbourne, Australia. So really, this is a global hackathon that we had people come from all over. They founded the company of shooting unicorns. Sorry, it makes me giggle. Their company is founded in 2017, which, I don't know, fun fact for those who don't know, that's also when the unicorn emoji was released. I don't think it's a coincidence. But with that, I'd like to welcome them onto the stage, Looney and Sam.
They see the. They see it. They see it. Say what? Money. I'm global dollar and roll without penny.
Well, hello world. We flew 28 hours to New York City with one goal in mind, and that is to get you all excited about trading. Around 90% of people who start trading lose money, just like my friend Sam here. She's also a part of that statistic. But why? Well, most people base their trading decisions on emotions, FOMO, and untested trading strategies. And that's why we built Porygon, to help you create, test, and automate your strategies without having to write a single line of code. Well, let's roll over to the demo video. Here, we've logged into our Porygon account, and we are currently viewing the MongoDB. You can analyze your charts using technical indicators, and when you're confident, you can purchase the stock. Hit buy, enter a quantity, and create the order. You can see your open orders here, as well as your transaction history. That's cool, but every trading platform under the sun can do this. What we're really excited to show you is you can automate all this by using strategies on Porygon. You can create strategies using technical indicators, which are mathematical calculations used to predict price movements. You can learn more about them by heading over here, selecting an indicator, and learn how they trigger buy and sell signals, as well as how to analyze them on the charts. Let's create our first strategy. You create it, enter your name. You can pair multiple indicators here, but we'll just use one for now, the MACD. We'll leave the default values and create. How do you know this strategy won't actually burn your wallet? Well, you can backtest it using historical data. We'll test it by trading Microsoft, entering your starting capital, and we've also included risk tolerance so you don't end up blowing up your account. Let's try run it. Well, it seems like we've only made $551, but that's OK because the beauty of this is you can continuously tune the parameters until you're happy with the results. Down here, you can see your portfolio change over time and all the transactions actually created by your strategy. But my favorite feature of all is actually night mode. We're super close to getting automation working so you can trade your strategy live, so stay tuned. So how does it all work? Well, our front end is written in React.js. Our RESTful API is written in Happy.js, but the brain of it all is the Porygon engine, which is powered by Backtrader. Last but not least, none of this would have been possible without MongoDB, which securely stores the secrets to all our strategies. The world is being rewritten and automated in code. We're super excited to reboot trading and make it accessible for everyone. So head over to porygon.tech and be a part of our journey and get rich together. Thank you.
They see it. Say what? Money. I'm global dollar and roll with about 50. Like to go out smelling fresh and looking spiffy. Don't like clean money. I want my wrist to be filthy.
Their music's too cool.
Yeah.
I tried doing a dance on the way out. Well, amazing. Great job, everybody. Really, all the teams. That was incredible.
It was amazing.
Yeah. What do we have next?
What do we do now? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
Well, I think it's time for us to vote.
You have the watch, so I was assuming you're keeping us on track.
Yeah, always on time. So I guess everyone, please take out your phones, your tablets, your browsers, your laptops, whatever you need.
Internet connection.
Yeah, you must have an internet connection.
I don't see hands moving.
Get those phones and tablets out. Go to this URL or URL. It's meet.ps/MongoDB. The voting is actually going to happen over the next 60 seconds once I say go.
And just as a reminder, everybody that is tuning in on live stream, you can be part of this voting as well. So live stream as well as everybody in the audience, we want everyone to vote. This is a full audience participation. So with everybody, you are also giving, as a reminder, the opportunity for these teams to win $10,000. So get your phones ready, spin up a browser window, and we'll vote for your favorite project. Remember, we're looking at technical aptitude, overall design, and how they use MongoDB. So, is it time?
Time starts now. 60 seconds, go. So while you're doing this, I wanted to maybe take the opportunity to tell another dad joke.
Dad joke? Yeah, go for it.
This one's actually for you.
Oh, thank you.
So Jess loves dogs.
I do.
So what do you call a dog that does magic tricks?
What?
Labracadabrador.
Oh my God.
Come on, that one's good.
That's
These are getting better. Who laughed? Who laughed? Is that you, Chrissy?
I'm gonna give this.
Thank you. Hey, we need to get some money. $10,000 is at stake.
BRB.
So. 23 seconds left. Is it Brainhack? Is it Porygon? Is it Kegomate? It's close. All right, so far we have over 700 attendees voted. Let's get those votes in. 10 seconds left, everyone. Oh, that's a big check.
I know. Don't worry,
a lot of
lift
money.
weights.
Need
A workout.
help? Oh. All right. Oh, it looks close. It was close. All right. So we're going to put the votes through the gonculator. We're going to tabulate.
Beep, boop, 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 boop.
Beep, boop, boop, boop.
I thought we had most songs in this.
Beep, boop, 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 boop.
DJ.
Key up that drum roll. And the winner is Brainhack Wheelchair. Oh my God. Confetti cannons. Woo.
Oh my God.
Excellent. So Vinit couldn't be here,
No Mario music.
but I hope you're watching on the live stream. Congratulations. And unfortunately, since he's not here, we'll have to maybe take his picture or take the picture in his place.
We'll Photoshop.
And we will write our names.
He'll be right here in it.
We'll Photoshop him in. Excellent.
Who's good at Photoshop? I'm not.
I'll do. Oh, Mike can do it. Hey,
Perfect.
so congratulations.
All right.
I'm going to take this check.
Okay, I'll take the click.
Congrats. Woo.
Thank you. Awesome. Yeah. Again, thank you to everybody that voted and to our hackathon winners and finalists. It was really, truly amazing. I know there's some confetti and it's really exciting, but we're going to take a moment and kind of settle down, and I want to introduce you to our next speaker. So Emily Freeman, known as Editing Emily online, is many things. She's an author for Devops for Dummies. Clearly, I need to read that. She has a wonderful daughter, Clara, who she likes to speak of often, and all their lovely arguments. I think she's about 4 right now, so prime age for talking back. She's a stress baker, so she often posts these delicious looking recipes of like sourdough or cookies or something else that I'm salivating at home through my phone and wondering why I don't live closer. But really, more importantly, more than anything, Emily's here because she's an amazing storyteller. And with that, we're going to have her come and talk with us about what you're going to be doing leaving this event, going into tomorrow, setting you up for success, and really some inspiration. So Emily Freeman, come onto the stage.
Oh, Cinnamon, where you gonna run to? Cinnamon, where you gonna run to?
Hello. Thank you for having me. I'm thrilled to be here with you all. I think it's been a phenomenal conference so far, don't you? Yeah. I finished my book, Devops for Dummies, just a few weeks ago. It's done, I wrote it, I did the thing, it's in production, it'll be out late next month. But I don't actually want to talk about Devops for Dummies, or even DevOps. Instead, I want to talk about the process of writing a book, about creating something from nothing, and how I think that mirrors our work as engineers. My editor would like me to let you know that it is available for pre-order on Amazon. I'm looking forward to hearing what you think about it once it's out. Writing a book was the hardest accomplishment I have ever set out to achieve. I finished it like a marathoner at the end of a long race, crawling toward the finish line. I was empty. But finishing the book isn't the interesting story. The journey is where I learned the valuable lessons. Only in the tears and the toil, in the mud of my own emotions and self-doubt, did I learn the truths of struggle, resiliency, and creative work. Long ago, communities believed that a person's creative contributions were the work of a muse. They believed that the gifts we treasure most from those ancient civilizations, sculptures, paintings, books, were the result of a human momentarily capturing the divine. And you don't have to believe in a God to recognize when someone has, for a moment, transcended the limitations of human brokenness and created something truly awe-inspiring. When the era of the muse passed, we discovered science. We began to understand pieces of the universe we inhabit. We moved away from the old godlike division of labor. We stopped recognizing the muses and the gods and the divine. We praised the art. But more importantly, we began to worship humans. We began to believe that those artists and creators we're somehow superior. Engineering software is creative work. Yes, we talk about algorithms and lambdas, but our work transcends science and technology. And throughout the creative process of building something from nothing, we have to strike this balance between influencing the outcome and stepping back to allow the work to define itself. If I were to write a book on writing, it would be lessons learned from staring at carpet fibers, because there's a lot of rolling around on the floor in your own self-pity before you ever write a single word. Michelangelo, the man who gave us David and the Pieta, believed that every block of stone had a statue in it, and it was the task of the sculptor to uncover it. And maybe, go with me on this, maybe we are sculptors, slowly chipping away at stone until the sculpture beneath begins to surface. Only instead of a chisel in hand, we type away on our keyboards, willing machines to do what we want. Now, I know engineering doesn't always seem very glamorous. It doesn't feel that glamorous when you're doing it. I think engineering can be extremely grueling, lonely work. And if you're anything like me, it can fill you with imposter syndrome and self-doubt just as quickly as it can make you feel like a god. In many ways, this industry has created a cult of celebrity. We worship the technologists who have the most Twitter followers or open source contributions. We look to the people on stages like this as experts instead of peers. And we seek to prove ourselves worthy instead of creating a community of vulnerability and acceptance. I did more than think about DevOps while writing this book. I thought a lot about where I fit in this community and the type of environment we are building in tech. If you're unfamiliar with DevOps, you'll notice I talk a lot about people, process, and tools in that order. Because the tools you work with are far less important than the people for whom you build products and the colleagues with whom you work. But I want to focus on that second item in the list for a moment, process. For me, the process of writing, like software development, has a rhythm, an emotional ebb and flow. This is the Gartner hype cycle. Gartner uses it to teach Fortune 500 companies how to make more money. But I actually think it does a great job at capturing the emotional rise and fall we all experience when taking on a new project or challenge, especially a big one. When I was first offered the book, I was elated. I haven't felt joy and anticipation like that in years. I felt like a success, like I had arrived. I kept imagining myself walking into the bookstore, finding the text section, pulling it off the shelf, and holding it, and how good that would feel. That feeling is the peak of inflated expectations. It's your brain dumping large amounts of dopamine into your system. I imagined myself like Hemingway, typing away and clearly conveying my thoughts on DevOps, minus the Cuban views and rum. But I wasn't like Hemingway. It wasn't sexy. It wasn't glamorous. It was hard. It was lonely. It was a lot of work. The process felt daunting, impossible. And I felt like I was going to be the biggest disappointment, especially to the people who had taken a chance on me. I really struggled. I don't want to gloss over that fact. I think too often we see the highlight reel of others, and we compare it to the behind-the-scenes footage of our own selves. It's a false comparison, and it isolates us from each other. It cheats us of truth and community, something I think is central to highly resilient engineering teams. The closer we're able to get to a shared experience, the more we begin to understand each other as humans. The struggle that follows the peak of inflated expectations is the trough of disillusionment. This is your brain viewing opportunity ahead of you as a risk, a danger to your safety. Your brain was never designed to help you become your most enlightened self. The oldest part of your brain, back here, thinks your job is to be born, survive to reproductive age, and replicate your cells. That's it. Your brain views opportunities as risk, and it thinks of risk as a lion that wants to eat you. Your brain will always opt for safety over uncertainty, even if it means you miss out on opportunities. And it's this part of your brain that you're at war with during the trough of disillusionment. It's a dark time, and I spent most of my time writing in this phase. It was super fun, let me tell you. The only reason I was able to keep going was because I had friends, many of whom were authors, who would give me pep talks and lift me up when I needed it, when I was ready to quit. I tweeted this in early December when I was about 30% of the way through the book, and the process is alarmingly accurate. If you really look at it and change a few words, it probably mirrors your experience engineering solutions to really hard problems. Imposter syndrome is real. So much of our work as engineers is choosing to ignore that little voice in your head that tells you you're not good enough, that you shouldn't even try, that someone else would be better. As you might know, tech is my second career. I don't have a CS degree. I didn't build a server farm out of my parents' garage at 8, and I didn't teach myself Fortran at 15. While I was writing this book, the incessant whisper of self-doubt left me feeling as if I wasn't qualified, wasn't good enough. I did most of my writing at night. I work a full-time job, I travel a lot for conferences, and I'm a single mom, which means that my evenings are mostly monopolized by my amazing but demanding 4-year-old daughter. I'd put my daughter to bed and sit next to her, hunched over my laptop in the dark. A permanent back damage, I'm pretty sure. That cursor would just sit there on the page, taunting me, blinking, 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 silently reminding me that I had written absolutely nothing. I spent months in the trough of disillusionment until I began to normalize. I realized that I was writing a book on DevOps, not the book on DevOps. If the trough of disillusionment is that moment you jump out of the plane and begin to plummet toward the earth, the slope of enlightenment is the moment after your parachute opens, the rate of descent slows, and you silently take in the world around you. You realize that the emotional ups and downs are just part of the process, and that the process will eventually end. At which point you reach the plateau of productivity, where you finally feel like you have some clue what you're doing. And you realize that if you just keep going, you'll have time to edit it, and you can make it into something at least mediocre, probably good, and maybe, just maybe, great. So after all that, who's excited about writing a book? Yeah? Sounds like a lot of fun, right? If you're wondering if I'd still recommend writing a book, the answer is absolutely yes. It is one of the best ways of promoting yourself and creating career opportunities down the road. Thanks to authority bias, everyone gives authors way too much credit. We assume they're an expert because they wrote a book, right? I grew a lot as a person and a professional while writing. The lessons I learned in my struggle, how to apply them to my work in engineering, were beyond valuable. Just recognize that it's not glamorous. It's a marathon through mud. And it's easier to quit than it is to fight through the struggle. Some of the best advice I received on writing a book came from my colleague, Orrin Thomas. He said that the first book is always the hardest because you don't know you can finish it. You may think you can, but you don't know. And I think Orrin is right, not just about writing books, but in general. I think that applies to the first time we do anything, which is why you need to make a plan and then probably throw it away. Creating a table of contents is the first step of writing a book. The publisher literally demands it. It's essentially the planning phase of a book. And plans are great. They manage to get you headed in a particular direction. But sometimes, most times, you can't get to the destination unless you throw the original plan away, which, as you might imagine, might make your manager have a stroke. But tossing a plan isn't failure. It's adaptation. It's continuous improvement. There's this moment in creative work, and perhaps especially in writing, where the work begins to declare itself. And the image of what you want the book to be meets what the book believes itself to be. Now that sounds a bit wacky, right? I'm anthropomorphizing a book and claiming that it will guide you to write the book that it wants to be. Yet that's exactly what happens. My father calls this part of writing catching fire. And it's where the toil of typing transforms into flow. And I'm not talking about value stream mapping. I'm talking about the mihai csikszent mihai concept of flow, a state of being completely involved in an activity for its own sake. The ego falls away, time flies, every action, movement, and thought follows inevitably from the previous one, like playing jazz. If you're a developer, you've likely felt this at some point in your career. After a struggle at the start, the code kind of begins to write itself. You've overcome the initial challenges, and you begin to know what you need to do next. A plan is a guide, not a prison. You are never locked into the strategy you thought would work. When you're staring at a mountain, you can make assumptions about how to climb it and which paths to take. But it's not until you're 2 hours from base camp and a snowstorm moves in that you really know what you need to do. You can prepare for those those expected challenges, but you then have to adapt. Don't stick to the original plan just because it's convenient. Instead, make adjustments, iterate, pivot. But don't expect adaptation to be smooth or comfortable. Growth is painful, but it's also part of the process. I grew an incredible amount through writing this book, as a person, a professional, a technologist, a writer. Growth is awkward, and it's uncomfortable. It exposes areas in which you aren't particularly impressive. And that requires candor and vulnerability. It would be so much easier to pretend like you know it all, like you've got it handled. Only the most courageous among us freely admit when we don't know and create space for those around us to teach. This entire process was a daily reminder that the more I learn, the less I know, and that ego is the enemy of learning. When I joined a powerlifting team several years ago, they had one rule, that I had to leave my ego at the door. There was simply no room for pride. And no, I've never had quads like that. That woman is a beast and I am jealous. My little group of powerlifters pushed me more than any other group ever has. And there is nothing like a 300-pound man yelling at you because you didn't try hard enough. It was the epitome of tough love. They pushed me because they loved me, and they believed in me, even when I didn't believe in me. In my work with Devops, I talk a lot about removing friction from teams and allowing people to work well with each other. But a certain amount of friction, I think, is kind of healthy, especially if it's in a safe environment. It's through working through that friction with your colleagues and your friends that you begin to form real trust. Don't fight procrastination. It is part of the process. Writing a book is torturous, in part because when you're writing, you hate writing. And when you're not writing, you feel guilty because you should be writing. I spent a lot of time procrastinating. I baked, I cleaned, I watched TV, I ate a lot of cookies. I moaned to friends about how hard writing a book is. I delayed, delayed. But by the end, I realized that procrastination is actually a really healthy part of the creative process. You're not avoiding work, mostly. You're sort of doing work. It just doesn't feel like that. And all the time I was rolling around on the carpet, complaining, my brain was sorting out how to cover a topic as broad and encompassing as Devops. Eventually, all that procrastination work paid off, and I think I've written a pretty good book. That said, the first draft of anything is going to suck. How many of you have spent weeks writing the most gnarly string of code to solve a problem, only to throw it out and rewrite it in just a few hours? I certainly have. You can't edit nothing, but you can polish a turd. Terry Pratchett said the first draft is just telling yourself the story, and I think that's really beautiful. Though I prefer Hemingway's honest take, the first draft of anything is shit. And maybe the first draft is horrible. You will make it better, but you have to start somewhere. Perfection is impossible. We are human, we are flawed. There is nothing empirically perfect on this earth. But I believe in the pursuit of perfection, we can achieve greatness. This is the Nike of Samothrace, the winged victory. Nike is the personification of victory, and this statue at the Louvre is one of my favorites. There are moments of absolute perfection in this piece. I want you to look at her belly, how the cloth moves across her body in the wind. The sculptor made stone delicate and translucent. That, for me, is absolutely divine. But the statue as a whole has some problems. For one, she's missing a head. Now, that's not the sculptor's fault, but it is a wonderful metaphor for creative work and output. You have so little control over how your work is received, or if it's even remembered. The only thing we have control over is the work we put into it and the personal growth we glean from the experience. Maybe we should measure ourselves and each other by that, the input, the work, and remind ourselves that the outcome is far less important. Which brings me to my last point. We need each other. We expect so much from ourselves, especially in this industry. I think at the core of each of us, myself included, is a small child who's a little bit scared and who wants to belong. The fear and anxiety many of us carry around can become so oppressive that you can begin to feel like you can't even breathe. I want you to know that you're not alone, even when you feel your loneliness, even when you feel like you have no one to call. We all struggle. And if we could create an environment of courageous vulnerability, we wouldn't have to be alone. We could struggle together. It's for this reason that I want to go back to the age of the muse and that ethos, where the brilliant work of an artist was a human momentarily capturing the divine. Because if you believe you create great work, work that exceeds the reaches of average humans, all on your own, and then you fail, what does that say about you? More than that, how can we possibly form meaningful connections with each other if we see some humans as demigods? Community, trust, requires each of us to view ourselves as equals. We must stop putting people on pedestals, for them and for us. We must be a community in which everyone respects and admires the different contributions of each individual. Tomorrow, you have the opportunity to take part in the Builder Fest, to meet and interact with hundreds of engineers, some of whom you have already met. As you work tomorrow, as you create, I challenge you to be vulnerable with your peers, to share your successes and your failures freely and courageously. Being vulnerable is one of the most courageous acts I think anyone could take. And if someone is brave enough to be real with you, to be their authentic self, meet them where they're at. Accept them. And return the gift of vulnerability. Maybe, just maybe, we can all go back to our workplaces and show that it's not actually tech at the heart of this industry. It's humans. It's you. Thank you.
Cinnamon, where you gonna run to? Cinnamon, where you gonna run to?
Hey, don't leave.
Sit back. You look amazing.
Yeah, I did a quick stage change.
Yeah, I leveled up, did all the kind of hunting. Got some swag.
Get swagged out.
I am
Let's see.
swagged out. I've got my MongoDB Vans, which I'm sure everyone's kind of admiring. I've got my MongoDB socks, Pac-Man. Got a shirt, hoodie.
Got some pins there too.
Yeah, maybe we should take a picture.
Okay. You guys want to take a picture with us? Come on. I know you're so excited. I know it was a very inspirational talk. But
And I'm going to tag every single one of you on Twitter. So please follow me on
caps
Twitter.
out at 10.
Song 17. Come on.
Not that I know this. Okay.
Let's try this.
All right.
Everyone wave. Oh, come on. Hey, let's go. All right.
Okay. All right. Good, good. Okay, now on to the other things.
So hopefully everyone enjoyed the afternoon keynote. As you know, MongoDB World is a learning conference. And again, because of all the popular demand, and also there were a lot of sessions that I know were standing room only, and some of you weren't able to attend.
Yeah.
We're actually going to do a few encore sessions, as well as some chalk talks, beginning at 8:30 a.m. tomorrow. Please check the app or the session guide for more details.
Awesome. We want to let you know about Builders Fest tomorrow. So this is the very first time we've done this at Mongo World, and we're super excited to bring it to you. It begins at 10 a.m. tomorrow. Many of you may already be signed up for some sessions, but for those of you who don't know about it, we have 13 builder pods featuring 130 maker workshops, a coding stage with Code Golf and a blind coding challenge, a gaming stage with Mario Kart, Tetris 99, Super Smash Brothers Ultimate. And so it's going to be great. We're really excited. We've got a lot of people that have put a ton of work into it to really finalize and seal in Mongo World 2019.
Great.
With that, we wanted to say you can level up your swag a bit at the builder pods. We've added 3 more levels for 12, 13, and 14, which you can tell for some of this. I'm modeling some scrunchies. We have an 80s theme, if you didn't know about some walk-in music. I had a lot of fun picking those songs out. And you can level up you can unlock these level up gears by the QR codes that some of you have seen. The QR scavenger hunt, also through the MongoDB World app.
Great.
And then this is sweet.
Boom.
Yeah.
Oh.
I feel like a pink lady, but a green lady.
Yes, green lady.
So.
Great. And again, we crave feedback, so I think it's really important for us to try and make MongoDB World even better year over year. So you will get a survey in your inbox tomorrow. Please fill it out. And again, you will be able to get some more swag, right? So we appreciate your time, we appreciate your feedback, and it's extremely important that we get that feedback from you. So please fill out those surveys.
You can give us feedback on the songs too. It's okay.
Yes.
We'll take it into consideration. And then another announcement, registration is open for Mongo World 2020. So you're the first to know about this for everybody that's tuning in and then here in stage. May 4th through 6th in New York City again. We're super excited, and we are allowing you to register this year under the mobile app for $100.
$100.
So quiet.
That's only $100. $100.
$100.
It's like free.
Pretty much. Just
Actually,
take off
it's
one
better than
and
free.
Another 0.
Right? Because nothing in life is free.
Yeah. Well, your company will like it
live
because
it.
taxes, right?
Yeah.
Right up this year for next
You
year.
know what I could do with $100?
Buy me more cold brew?
Yeah. Hey, so you're in Seattle, right?
Yeah.
And Seattle's a little foggy, isn't it?
Yes.
So You know, I tried to catch some fog the other day.
How?
But I missed.
Come on,
that was a good
one.
Come on, no?
Missed it.
Tweet it out.
Okay.
Love it.
All right, so with that.
Yeah, I'm a little sad, so we're wrapping up. This is all coming to an end. I have like 5 more jokes if you want to hear them. Just stop me in the hall.
Just
I'm
stick
happy
around.
to stay up here.
We can keep going.
Yeah, it's a little sad, but I had a great time, Jess.
Me too.
Was,
this was so much
hopefully a great first MongoDB World for you.
It was great. Yeah.
And thank you to everyone.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. One more thing. I think this happy hour will help you make feel better, which will be good. So go drink your sorrows there.
Yeah, I will.
And then join us in the partner pavilion. Out to the left. Enjoy. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Jess.